a few corrections on surprise inspection. I considered if I should count those, but in the end, I decided I would. The joke in surprise inspection was, according to a new poll, former President Trump is leading President Biden by double digits in Iowa because he paid off a corn star. That was the first joke, and I forgot to do the thing I do throughout surprise inspection. I forgot to show which writer wrote that. And a bunch of you were very upset, and you wanted me to name the writer, but I have a fun idea instead. You guys, I feel like if you're here with us now, you're super fans. I bet you can guess. And so we're going to put the question up on Sea Captain polls on Twitter. Who wrote the corn star joke? And the first 10 of you who write the correct name will get a signed headshot from that writer. A headshot I will force them to sign. And I'm not going to give you any clues as to who wrote it, but do specify in your answer if you want the old headshot or the cool new sexy one. And if I see any of your handles answering multiple times, different people, you don't get the headshot. One guess. We mentioned Rafalka, an Olympic horse. That was a female horse, Rafalka. Also, they have not worn top hats in dressage, in competitive dressage since 2021. They realized the top hat was where they were hiding the horse steroids. Also, we implied the Brits would be the best at dressage. It turns out the Germans dominate international dressage. And someone pointed out this is the classic outcome. The Brits invent a sport, and then they introduce it to the rest of the world and get their ass kicked. Horse ballet. It's quite fun doing it amongst ourselves, but shouldn't we teach it to the Germans? Won't it be hilarious to see the... they're good. Opinion is split on my Australian accent. A lot of people think it's terrible, and the other half think it's... I did get some notes. An Australia viewer said that there's a lot of flies in Australia, and so Australians talk out of the side of their mouths as to not, inhale insects. So it's got to be a bit more like that. So that's solved. Clouds have nothing to do with turbulence. The presence of clouds is often an indicator of stable pressure and less turbulence. Sounds like a trap. Sounds like you're asking me to fly right into a cloud and then nobody ever sees me again. I'll try. A jackal said this, and I thought it was dumb, and then a second jackal said it, and I was like, I'll say it. The plural of Harry Potter isn't Harry Potter's, it's Harry's Potter. We had a photo about log traffic, like if the New Jersey Turnpike was a log flume, and that it was bumper to bumper. And then the graphic had a bunch of spray coming off each individual log. But of course, if a log was static, you wouldn't have the spray coming off it. And I think graphics knows that, and just in general, just doesn't give a another surprise inspection correction. The joke was a British woman was arrested yesterday after she allegedly threw a milkshake at UK politician Nigel Farage. So I guess her milkshake brought all the boys to Scotland Yard. Here's the correction. Scotland Yard is the informal name for New Scotland Yard, the headquarters for the Metropolitan Police. The milkshake incident happened in Clacton, so comes under the remit of Essex Police, whose headquarters is in Chelmsford. So the punchline should have been, I guess her milkshake brought all the boys to the remit of Essex Police in Chelmsford. Thanks for the fix. Last week's correction, we told another Kristi Noem joke about her the tragic incident, not for her. She was pretty, again, she put it in a book. She didn't think it was tragic, so. And someone quite fairly, and again, there's multiple corrections in a row we made. a joke about Christy Nome. Someone wrote in, the Christy Nome jokes are beating a dead horse and a goat, then another horse, then a puppy, and yet another horse. Nick Cage bought a dinosaur skull, but it was not a T-Rex skull. I said last week it was a T-Rex skull. T-Rexes are exclusive to North America. Nick Cage bought a Tarbosaurus skull. But I wonder if he knew when he bought it that it was a Tarbosaurus skull. And I wonder if he was super bummed out about that. Maybe there's someone who would tell us what that would sound like. Oh, hey.
What's up?
Okay, I need you to do an impression real quick, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're Nicolas Cage, okay?
Yeah.
You just bought what you thought was a T-Rex skull.
Uh-huh.
And then you have somebody over to your house who knows a lot about dinosaurs. So I want you to say, this is my T-Rex skull, and then I'm going to say, actually, that's a Tarbosaurus skull, and then I want you to react the way you think Nick Cage would react, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is my T-Rex skull.
Oh, actually, Nick, I hate to tell you this, that's a Tarbosaurus skull. I forgot something, so Alex, forget the croissant thing. I'm gonna need the next clip next. Copy? Forget about that one. The other one, okay. You guys, somebody has constantly written in, and their question is, I understand what those two rivets are for, because they're connecting this bar to this bar. But what are these two rivets for? Like, what purpose do they serve? And once they mentioned it, I couldn't stop looking at it. And so I think it's coming out. Uh-oh. That would have been a good ending for corrections, but of course we need to get to celebrity baby teeth. And I know a lot of people don't like celebrity baby teeth. I don't like celebrity baby teeth. I had a chance to put it in the show. I didn't. Real quick. We had this punch card. We keep getting punch cards wrong. So they fixed it, right? So now you can see the table through it, but why is it getting punched from the back? All right, so celebrity baby teeth. I know a lot of you don't like it. I get it. If you make it through, here's the thing. If you hate it so much, tune out now. Nobody's going to blame you. But if you stay till the end of corrections, there's a very cool surprise this week at the end of corrections. And I apologize that I'm making you suffer through celebrity baby teeth to get to it, but you will be rewarded. Before we get to celebrity baby teeth, somebody did write in, how far will baby teeth go? But they had a typo, and the sentence read, how fat will baby teeth go? And long story short, now Jermaine is writing a sketch called Fat Baby Teeth. He wanted me to assure everyone he's worried. The babies aren't fat, the teeth are. He told me that's the funny part. Also, you know, we're going to go back to about halfway through page 4 on celebrity baby teeth because I hadn't read ahead, And there were some props, and I feel like I wasn't giving it a fair shake. So and again, I know this just keeps making it worse. Very cool surprise at the end. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take it to the bottom of page 4. So we have Jude Law's teeth would be out. They would be there. And Dakota Johnson's teeth would be out. They would be there. Let's just assume at this point there'd be some teeth on the desk. Okay. Sorry. We'd be having a lot of fun. Rolling laugh, rolling laugh. All right. Just picking it up bottom. For whoever's going to eventually do the supercut. Instead, why not enjoy looking at Samuel L. Jackson's baby teeth? Oh, wow. Look. This one came with a little Kangol on it. See the difference? How it's playing now that we have the props? Just kidding, it didn't come like that. We added it to the tooth. Cute, right? Now, at this point, you might be wondering why you, the viewer, are still watching Celebrity Baby Teeth. Or perhaps you're asking yourself just how deep this twisted rabbit hole goes. Don't try to answer those questions. Instead, answer this one. Can you guess whose baby's teeth these are? If you, for some reason, guessed British power couple, David and Victoria Beckham, then you are correct. And look, I made these into little bracelets I sometimes tie on my wrist and wear around the house. Now, before you ask, now we're on page 6. Seth, are you sure everything is okay with you? Are you sure you don't need some help? Just shh, 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 shh. All right, let's move on to... Oh, no, this is not good. This is not good at all. It appears as though we're all out of celebrity baby teeth. Guess I'll have to go to the vault. Oh, Jesus, the vault, you think to yourself. Well, like with most of what you've seen today, you probably shouldn't, and we'll leave it there. You guys ready for the surprise? There isn't one. I don't know why I said that. I just really wanted everybody to stay for Celebrity Baby Teeth. I'm just kidding. There is a surprise. Do you guys remember how last week I said I received a correction via text from Larry David about my vampire Larry David impression, and then last week we revisited that. I received another correction from Larry David, and I asked him, would you like to make that correction in person? And he's not here. What's wrong with you? Larry David. You want to come do corrections? Well, that's it. Got to put all these back in the bag. Summer, right? Pretty good time. Could be a big summer for NBC. Olympics? That's it. There's nothing else. Oh, well. If we're not here next week, it's not our fault. Tell your friends. We don't make the decisions. See me when you see me.